Hello friends, happy, what day is today? Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Hope your day is going great. I don't even know what day it is. It's all good. Yes, really quick, I'm going right back to our devotional, the Jesus Storybook Bible that I've been going through, and I actually think it's a really cool thing for you guys to add to your homeschooling curriculum now that the whole world is homeschooling, kind of. This video is in a playlist here on my YouTube channel where you have the rest of all of the chapters that I've been reading or have read so far in this book. Just start with the very first one and then go all the way through, and you guys can share it with your kids. I just think it's a good idea. I wanted to share with you guys. Anyways, so here is the next chapter that we're going to be reading today. And today's chapter is called God's Messenger, and it has to do with the story of Jonah and the big fish. Not the big whale. No, it's the big fish. My kids are my audience. And the little 3-year-old is a little crazy, so you might see him coming in and out of the video, so I'm sorry about that. But Jonah and the big fish, from Jonah 1 through 4 and Hebrews 1 through 2. I didn't know the Hebrews had anything to do with Jonah. Yeah. Okay, well. Yeah. Oh yeah? Yeah. Okay, well I'm gonna have to look that up. Yeah. All right, let's get started. Okay, so God had a job for Jonah, but Jonah didn't want it. Go to Nineveh, God said, and tell your worst enemies that I love them. Go to Jonah's worst enemies, and they were also God's enemies because of the things that they did. They were really bad people. They were very mean, and they were Jonah's enemies and obviously God's enemies because they were going against God's commandments, and they were very sinful. So I love here how we can already see where God says in the New Testament, love your enemies. So he was already showing them that he was loving on his enemies and Jonah's enemies. Okay, so tell your worst enemies, not just your regular enemies, but your worst enemies that I love them. No, said Jonah, those are bad people doing bad things. Exactly, said God. They have run far away from me, but I can't stop loving them. I will give them a new start. I will forgive them. That is what it means when God forgives us. He is giving us a new start in life, okay? No, said Jonah, they don't deserve it. I'll run away, Jonah said to himself, far away, so far away that God won't be able to find them. Then I won't have to do what God says. It's a good plan, he said, because as far as he knew, it was a good plan. Okay? But of course, it wasn't a good plan at all. It was a silly plan because you can run away from God, but he will always come and find you. Why? Because God is omnipresent, meaning he is everywhere, and he is omniscient, meaning he knows everything. He knows he knew what Jonah was thinking. Okay? That's why it was a silly plan. Jonah went ahead with his not very good plan. One ticket to not Nineveh, please. That's what he said. He said and boarded a boat sailing in the very opposite direction of Nineveh. So Nineveh was here. I almost shot my book. So he went to the other side, okay? So this is Jonah over here in the dock saying, please, can I get a ticket to the boat that's going right the opposite of Nineveh? And here is the book.
Nineveh, not Nineveh.
Nineveh?
Let me see.
Is that what it says? Not Nineveh. Quickly. Nineveh? Not Nineveh.
Oh, got it.
Sí. Sí, mi amor. Okay, continue. Well, it wasn't long before a fierce wind blew and the boat started to lurch and pitch and roll, and everyone started turning green, like motion sickness. Jonah sat bolt upright in his bed. You see, the first thing that went wrong with Jonah's not very good plan was that God sent a big storm after him. The sailors couldn't sail their ship properly. We're sinking, they screamed, and started throwing everything overboard. Suitcases, food, whatever they could find. By now, Jonah knew that the storm was his fault. Throw me in instead, he shouted to the sailors, and the storm will stop. The sailors weren't sure. It's the only way you can be saved, Jonah cried. And so, 1, 2, 3, and I'm thinking that's where they threw him out. So this is the boat here. It's going everywhere. I mean, the storm is just moving the boat back and forth, and they are just throwing everything in the sea, as they can see. The food, everything.
Their toys?
Yes, their toys. Their DSs they were throwing.
No.
And Luke likes to narrate as well. Agua, sí, mi amor. Notice how Jonah knew. He knew it was his fault. And a lot of times whenever we are disobedient to God, we know we're being disobedient. We know that we are sinning, okay? It's not like we are innocent to it or we have no idea. No, we know for sure. All right, so 1, 2, 3, splash. No sooner had Jonah hit the water than the waves grew calm and the wind died down and the storm stopped. Just then, when Jonah thought it was all over, when he was sure he was going to drown, God sent a big fish to rescue him. The fish swallowed Jonah whole with one big gulp, okay? So the Bible says a fish, it didn't say a whale. So here's a big fish, and here's Jonah upside down, but he was swallowed completely by the whale. And you see how everything's all like calm down?
By the whale?
Sorry. See, I just want to make sure you guys are listening. By the fish. Jonah must have thought he died. It was so dark in there, like in a tomb. But then he smelled the rotting food and felt the slimy seaweed and knew he wasn't dead. He was in the belly of the fish. Sitting there in the darkness for 3 whole days, Jonah had plenty of time to think. 3 whole days. Think of that. That's a very important, detail because Christ was in a tomb for 3 days. Okay? Yes, in his belly. Pretty soon, he realized his plan was, well, a very silly plan indeed. He was sorry for running away. He prayed to God from inside the great fish and asked God to forgive him. Notice how he knew that he was sinning against God, not himself, not the people that he put in danger in that boat. And that is exactly what it is. When we sin, guys, we sin primarily to God. I was listening to a preaching today by Paul Tripp, and he was saying that whenever we sin, we don't just sin vertically. Every time we sin, we always sin. Yes, vertically, but first horizontally. I mean, not just horizontally, but vertically, meaning we sin against God first. I know, Papi. Oh, sorry, I didn't show you. So there he is in the slimy belly of the fish.
Is that a snake?
See. No, guys, these are his ribs.
No, is that a snake?
Oh, well, maybe. I don't know. Maybe the fish swallowed a snake. Ew. Sorry, Jonah. All right, let's continue. After 3 days, the fish spat Jonah safely out into a sandy beach. Just then, Jonah heard someone calling his name. Go to Nineveh, God said. And this time, Jonah said, yes. He went straight to Nineveh and told everyone God's wonderful message. So you see how like this happened to him. And it was God's way of nudging him right back to the track where he should have been to begin with. A lot of times God does that to us. See, we did. Even though you've run far from God, he can't stop loving you, said Jonah to them. Run to him so he can forgive you. The people of Nineveh listened to Jonah and they started loving God. They learned to do what God said and to stop running away from him, just like Jonah. So you don't know the response that these people are going to have, or whoever's going to have. All you have to do is just be obedient to what God's telling you. God was probably already working in their heart. So when Jonah came and told them the message, they believed. Many years later, God was going to send another messenger with the same wonderful news. Like Jonah, he would spend 3 days in utter darkness. But this messenger would be God's own son. He would be called the Word because he himself would be God's message. So this guy who's going to come, this person who we know it's Jesus who came, he was the message, okay? He was telling people the message that it was himself, all right? Because the Bible says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me, says Jesus, okay? Hold on, baby. Oh, okay. God's message translated into our language. Everything God wanted to say to the whole world in one person of Jesus Christ. Okay, so here is the fish who spat him out into the beach. It's a pretty colorful fish, right? Mm-hmm. And this is Jonah coming out like
all the movies and stuff. It's dark blue.
I know. Here is like an orange.
No, it ain't coming on you.
I know. Lukey agrees. All right, guys. So that is about it. That is today's story. Love you guys. And again, this is I think it's a really cool idea for you guys to read with your kids. So maybe you can order this book on Amazon or wherever. I have a link for it below in the description box. Order it. It'll be cool for you to read it with your kids and actually go through these videos that I have taped for you guys. And again, this video is in that playlist, so you can just start from the beginning. All right, love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow, Lord willing. Bye.
Bye.
Luki, say bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Hello friends, thank you so much for taking the time to watch my videos. It actually means the world to me that you guys actually take the time out of your busy day to watch my videos. I have a few messages for you guys. It won't take long at all, I promise. All right, so number one, I accept prayer requests. So if there's anything that you are going through, anything that you want prayer over, just go ahead and contact me either through a comment below, an email, private message, whatever way that you want, so I can add you to a prayer list that me and my family have, and we pray for every single day. We have seen the power of prayer in our lives, and we want to share that with you guys. All right, number two, if you are on Instagram, you should totally be following me. Why? Because I go live Monday through Friday and I do a small devotional / Bible study anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes, but it's just something that you guys can listen to throughout the day to get you connected to the Lord and to His Word. And lastly, number three, if you are not following me, totally subscribe, hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you can get notified every time I upload a new video. I would love for you to join our family. We have so much fun here. I do my best to upload twice a week, usually Tuesdays and Fridays, and I do videos about anything and everything. I do beauty, I do fashion, I do recipes, I do about my life, I do hauls, I do some of my favorite products. Honestly, a little bit of everything where my kids are involved, and it's just so much fun. So I would love for you to join our family if you want. All right, that's about it. Thank you so much. Love you, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.